a class. So whenever the function is written inside of a class, that is called a method. There is no difference. Just this is the difference. Function, once we have written function, it will not be defined any under any class. But once the function is written inside of a class, that will become method. So under the class vehicle, only one attribute brand is declared and defined with the string value. Now come to, let us create one method. Okay, method public. Why public? Public means that method, if it is public, it can be accessed from anywhere. If you have kept any restriction over that method, like if you have declared with the private, so this is private method. It can't be accessed outside of that class. So public. Public is a access modifier. I told you that public is a access modifier which will give the permission. How it will indicate that how that method will be accessed, whether it can be accessed by publicly, otherwise it is restricted. So public void method, then void. What do you mean of void? Void, I told you that void is a keyword mostly used in programming languages. It will not return anything. Don't expect that this method will return some integer, some float like that result. No, it will not return anything. Okay. Public void. Next, that method, every attribute, we need to keep a name. Here, name is what you know. You can keep any name of which is related with your vehicle. You can keep any action of that vehicle, any behavior of that vehicle. We can, like what, as I told you, that vehicle starts, vehicle stops, vehicle accelerates, vehicle gets the brake, okay, accelerates, and clutching, okay, declutching, clutch on, clutch off. These are the actions of a vehicle. So we can keep any name, like what, sound. Sound is what? Otherwise, run, accelerate. Accelerate is a action. So let us take this as a, keep that name, method name. After method name, every method name must be suffixed with the brackets. I told you that method is nothing but a function. So after every function, we need to keep the brackets. Then after flower braces, okay. Within this flower braces, as I told you that this method will not return anything because we have declared this method as void. Simply we will write system dot out. Just it gives display out dot println. Okay. In brackets. So terminate with the statement. Inside of this println statement, keep any string. While accelerate, what? Car, vehicle runs. Vehicle runs. Why? Vehicle runs means once acceleration given, so vehicle runs. So that is the, this, whenever we call this method accelerate method, so that will return, that will display vehicle runs. That string will be displayed on the screen. So now we have created a class vehicle, and within that vehicle we have created some attributes, one attribute brand and one method I have created. So now if these attribute and method, if you want to access in another class, so that is called inheritance. Inheritance means whenever you access attributes and methods of a class into another class, that is called inheritance. Okay, so same thing. So class is created, vehicle class. Now this attribute and methods I want to access in another class. So what is the use of inheritance here? Reusability of the code. What do you mean by reusability of the code? See, reusability of the code means once one class is created, like vehicle class is created, it has so many attributes, so many methods we have written. And then after, at a fine day, you want to create one more class. Now that time you don't need to write the code. You can inherit the attributes and methods of that class. So it will save your time. Reusability of the code means previously written the attributes and methods you can inherit from that super class, parent class, to your latest class, whatever the class you are going to create now. So means you can inherit the attributes and methods from the existing class, previously existing class. That is the same thing I am going to do here. So now next, what happened? Vehicle is created, under that one attribute brand created and defined with a value Renault. It is a string type of data type variable attribute means, and one method accelerate declared and defined with a statement. So whenever we call this accelerate method, so what happens? This vehicle runs string will be displayed on the screen. Now your method is closed. Okay. Your method is closed and your class vehicle also closed. This is the one, means one super class, parent class is created. Within that parent class, attribute is defined and method is defined. Now come to the next point. As per your definition, inheritance. One class inherits from another class. So parent class, super class we have. Now let us go for another class, child class, that is subclass. So in Java, what we will do? We will use extends keyword. While for inheritance, we will use extends keyword. First class, child class, take any class name, any car. Car is a vehicle class. As I told you, there's so many objects in that class. So many, again, vehicle, under the vehicle class, so many subclasses, like what your subclasses: car, lorry, bus, bike, motorcycle, scooter. These are the vehicles, sub vehicles, subclasses. Okay, for the main class. So here I have taken car class. So that class car inherits from where? Vehicle class. So extends. Use extends the keyword from where? Car class. Extends means inherits from where? Vehicle class, super class. That is the vehicle class. Okay. Vehicle class. Now class, then after flower braces. Why flower? Inside of this, we will do the magic. Magic what? Your child class created. It will inherits from main class, super class vehicle. Inside of the flower braces. First, if you want to access the attribution methods of another class, previously existing class vehicle, you need to create an object first. That is very important in programming languages under the object oriented programming, because for any, as I told you, that four pillars, that is what your inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, encapsulation. So if you want to access any attributes and methods of any class, so you need to create an object. So for that class, for here we will create object. Syntax is what? Class name car and object name anything. Any your name, my name, XYZ, any OBJ object, anything you can keep. It doesn't even the XYZ, doesn't mean. Then after is equal to new keyword compulsory. Then after repeat the car class one more time and keep the brackets. Why brackets? Now car class syntax, first car class, then object name any XYZ is equal to new keyword, then car class name again, then suffix it with brackets. This is the constructor. Constructor is a method. I told you that in the previous, which will initialize the attributes, which will start the attributes. which will update the attributes. Okay. Now terminate this sentence. Now inside of this, we can do one thing. If this car, if you want to declare for this car any attributes, like vehicle class, we have declared and defined one attribute. Same, this car also may have some attributes. So write that it is which type of data, string type of data, and brand. Every car has a brand and model name. So here model name is equal to, it is a string type of model name is what Renault has a Triber model name. It is really commercialized in the market in the 2019. Okay. Commenced in 2019 into the market. Now model name is Triber. So now this model name, it is a variable, means attribute of car class. Okay. Vehicle class has an attribute of brand. So now I can access this vehicle class method, accelerate vehicle class, means super class, parent class, this accelerate method and brand attribute of vehicle class inherit into car class. Along with car class has a attribute. It has one attribute. So these vehicle class brand and accelerate, these two, one attribute and method, okay, they can be accessed, they can be inherited to into car class with the object. What is the object name? OBJ. So now come to your so in the previous class, I told you that generally what happens whenever Java compiler, the code, whatever the code you have written, the code it is to be executed. I told you that Java compiler looks for the main method. It looks for the main method because inside of the main method, whatever the code we have written, that will be executed. Generally, Java compiler looks for the main method. So first of all, we need to create that main method. Okay. So main method syntax is what? That is which type of method? Public static. That is the syntax, public static void. And then after method, I told you that that is the main method. Okay. Method means bracket. Then after suffix it with brackets. Inside of this bracket, we need to write one array. That is what string array arguments, ARGS. That is very important. Huh? And then after flower braces, inside of this flower braces, your code, whatever the code that is to be executed, okay, is very important. Huh? So I told you that inside of this main, this one difference I told you that always the main method, that must be main method name small case, but the class name must be started with uppercase. Vehicle I have written here uppercase letter, uppercase V, not small case, but the main method small case. Huh? Now inside of the main method, I told you that one array, we need string array. String array symbol is what? Square brackets. Then after space arguments. Now one main method created. So this from this Java compiler looks for this main method. Inside of this, if you have written any statements, they will be compiled and executed. So child class also created, and we told that child class will inherit from extends means inherits. From where? Main class, super class, vehicle class. That is vehicle class. Okay. And then after inside of this car class, one class as a attribute and one object created. This cut this car object you keep inside of your main method. Okay, because main method looks, it will try to execute, it will try to access that attribute and method of the, that is what your super class means, your parent class. So by with the help of object. So object to be created inside of the main method. Just we did a mistake. We have created the object inside of the car class. Okay. So don't close the car class. Okay. Don't close the car class. Please open that brace, car class brace. At the end of that, you close the car class. So car class has a method inside of that. Main method is there, and car class it is closed at the end. And then after, first the main method is closed, and then after that car class is closed. Now take a printout. System dot. I told you that which statement will be used for system dot out dot println. What do you mean of this? I told you in the previous classes. It is simply print function to display the screen, the result on the screen. Simply in Python, it is called print method, print function. In C, print f. Okay, like that. In C language, C++, C out function. Okay. So system.out.println in bracket. If how can you access that super class, means vehicle parent class attribute, by simply calling with the object. What is our object name here? Obj I have created. Object dot. Your super class attribute is brand. Vehicle object dot brand. Okay. That is simply you close this and terminate with the semicolon. Understood that? So in this main method, you have accessed the attribute of the super class, that is vehicle class, in where? In child class. You have not created that attribute in child class car. That was declared in your parent class. From there, you are accessing, inheriting that attribute by object. And if you want to call that method, which method? Accelerate method. You call that method also very simple. By that obj dot. Method name is accelerate. Accelerate. Every method must have, it must be suffixed with the brackets. Okay, they are called parentheses. So we have done two things. That is what, one is that inside of the main method, just I have called the method accelerate method, which is defined inside of your super class. That is your parent class. Okay, means inside of the car class, child class, that is subclass, I have not written anything there. I have not written. Okay. So now if you run this code, what happened? Let us see whether the code will be executed. If it is not, it is stating what? One error. So error is where from this brace. It is very important. Why brace? You need to execute, you need to check back that this is the class, car class is the child class. It is started here. Okay. And this is what your main method, and it is open. So two I have. Okay. Let us see. And here the main class, that is what your super class started, and one method started. This is, you can write here for your reference, method declared, defined, method defined. Huh? Okay, method accelerate defined, So this is open brace, close brace. This is the brace for class, main class, super class. And then after child class started, okay. So we need to check back that actually why this error is giving. Okay. So your that method, what accelerate method, that is inherited from main class vehicle super class, it is parent class. Okay, that method is accelerate method has this statement, it is taken display, it is displayed on the screen, vehicle runs, and we have requested the brand, this brand attribute of the main super class, that is vehicle class, that is accessed, inherited by this object created. Okay, now if you want to keep some word statement in front of this, like what you simply brand name, this is a string if you want to add. So brand name is equal to, you will get brand name is equal to Renault, vehicle runs. And if you want to access this attribute of the car class, child class, that is model name. Model name, you can simply you write, because no need to write the object here. Why? Because this is declared inside of the car. Okay. So you write keep model name. So now see what happened here. So system why? Because okay, simply you add here obj. Okay, obj dot. Now see what happened. You will get the object brand name of brand name Renault. Okay, Renault is the brand name. Triber is the model name. So in front of this, you keep uh, some string like what your model name, model name. Okay, okay. Now this is a string in front of this string. This variable, whatever the variable model name holds, that value will be displayed on the screen. Okay. Now let us see what happens. Brand name, Renault, model name, driver. But here, if you want to give space, you do one thing. Here, you need to keep somewhat empty. Empty. That is what empty quotes. Empty quotes. Okay. Now see what happened. How the result would be. So brand name, Renault, model name, driver. In between this, we have given some space, simply keeping of quotes. Understood that? So now what happened here? So this brand name is the attribute of brand name declared inside of the main class, vehicle class. It is a super class. You can comment here, super class. Under this super means simply you can say that parent class also. Parent class. Under this class, you can declare this as public also. Understood that public. There is no any problem. Huh? Public class. Public means what you know. See, so public. So if it is giving problem, so you remove this public. Understood that you can, if you keep this. What do you mean by public and protected and private? I will explain. Huh? So remove this public. So see, public means that class attributes and methods can be accessed inside of the class, outside of the class, and outside of the package. Okay. Private means only inside of the class. not from outside of the class, not from outside of the package. Protected means inside of the class, okay? Inside of the class and outside of the class, not from outside of the package. Outside of the package, it is to be declared as public. If it is private, only inside of the class. If it is protected, that's why we have declared this brand data type variable as protected. If it is private, if it is private, this attribute can't be accessed because now outside of the class, up to this vehicle class, you want to access this attribute outside of the class in child class. In child class, you want to access. So it will not be worked out error. Understand? Because why? Because this brand is declared as attribute as declared private. So private means what? This access modifier will permit only to access inside of the class. You can inside of the class, only inside. Now you want to access this brand outside of the class. Outside of the class means in another class, in car class, you want to access this. So it is to be declared as protected. Okay. Protected. Okay. And so if it is public, if it is not declared any type, any access modifier, then what happens? See, let us see. Still it is, still you are getting, if you have not declared any type, if you have kept public, what happened? See here. So I think better is that don't declare this. Oh, still you are getting, so don't declare, no need. So if it is protected, means inside of the class, outside of the class, but not outside of the package. If it is not declared, it will be considered as default. So that will be accessed outside of the package also. If it is declared only protected, inside of the class, outside, not outside of the package. So declare this as protected. Okay. So that is the best thing. So the same code, actually, this is the code I have written online editor. This is the online web editor. Okay, here you can write the code and practice. But if you want to install this is the VS code. The same code we have written yesterday, same code, class, vehicle, inside of this protected string, brand, Renault, public static. No need of static here because this is the method. Okay, public void sound this method inside of this method. This is the class vehicle. Okay, this is the method. This is the attribute declared and defined with the value inside of this class. Super class. You can comment here. Super class means parent class. Okay, parent class. Okay. Now this is the class declared superclass and one attribute declared inside of undefined with a value, string value, attribute of superclass I have written. One method, that is the method public method. Method public way because this method can be accessed inside of the class and outside of car class. Outside of this vehicle class means, outside of this vehicle means we want to access here, inside of here, okay, inside of this method. Now come to the point, and car class inheriting with the extends keyword by vehicle class. This is private, one brand model name, Triber, one main method, that is where that is where this is the class, child class, declared, undefined, child class, declared, undefined, with a model name attribute of this car class. And inside of the main method, I told you that the main method, the Java compile looks for this main method. Its rule is what, main method always with the small letter. But here the main class, that is what your capital letter. Like what, generally you will get somewhere main, like this, okay? But once whenever you want to write the code, so every time if you keep the main, so the file to be stored with the class name main every time. So every time you will get the file name as main. So that will be somewhat file identity. So for identity, you need to every time you create your class name separately. So the file will be vehicle. So class vehicle. Huh? Okay. Vehicle class vehicle. So why problem this code is not executing, vehicle, this class name, this file to be stored. Okay. This it is to be changed. It is your class, this class to be renamed. A file, once you are storing that file to be, it is to be saved with this vehicle class name. So you do one thing, you go here and you change this name. Okay, that is very important. Huh? File, save file, na? Save as file. This code, it is to be saved as vehicle. You go there where you have changed, you have kept this code. You change this name as not inheritance, vehicle. VEHICLE, vehicle. Now change. Now here inheritance will be changed and file will be loaded as vehicle. Then, so I told you that whenever your class, main class name, that file will be saved as .java and that is to be saved with the class, main class name. That is the main important. Huh? So here it is saved one more. This is the main class. This is the car class. Okay. Now what happened? Now it is okay. This is the file stored as vehicle.java and your class. Okay. Now this is one attribute. This is the method and method. Inside of this method, this is the string stored system.out.println. Okay, car class inherits from vehicle class. Okay, this is the model name. Model name I am not using here. There is no any problem. So now run this code. What happened? So run this code here. It is stating what errors were, some what errors, because no, we have run this code on online web editor. We have written and we are getting the result. Okay. So same if you want to do in your VS code, the same code. Okay. The code is to be executed. Okay. Now, so we need to check back that model name. The value of the field car.model name is not used. Not used. So use here. No any problem. Here, if you want to use here, you use this as p plus obj dot model name. there is no any problem. Huh? Obj is object dot model name. The model name created where inside of this car class, that is private. Model name. So it is indicating that here is the error. So remove this brace, one brace, you run this code. Error is where reached end of file while parsing. So one brace, if you keep a brace, this is okay. Now, so you do one thing. This is the code we have written. This is the successful code we have written here. You copy this code, copy, and you come down here. Same, you replace the code, total code. Okay. The code is replaced, whatever the code we have written, and we are getting the output, and same code you copy and paste here and run this code, run code. So keep one brace here. So see, this is somewhat, I told you that this the actually what the problem, in this VS Code, that extension packs we have installed by this extension run. These are the extension packs. Okay, source control. Where is this extension? Run and debug. Okay. So I need to check back that VS Code, it is to be configured somewhat. Okay. Okay. The class is over. Okay, we will check back that on next class Sunday. Okay, have a nice day.